we'll get to see it again and again. An extremely Zeus heavy lineup to start. Thank you for the reminder to turn off the blaring text sign, Blackadder, so got rid of that. Alright, so to the bottom we've got TSM with the double Zeus Uranus lineup, and then to the top we've got MpT, sorry. I was gonna say PK because they went the same triple Zeus lineup that PK went in the last game we saw, so MpT. With the triple Zeus. Will be interesting to see if they go with the triple bolt strategy like PK did last game. Okay, I think we are seeing it. I think purple went for the scout. Okay, there we go, chat. Yep, they were thinking triple bolt, but they sent Chef to scout, but Chef scouted the Ranos player, which, if you're wondering why it's not happening to the Ranos player, it would be more effective. You can't bolt a Ranos villagers because it would be too strong. Bolting into Ranos villagers like bolting 3 villagers of the other civs, which that early in the game would be ridiculously overpowered. So they went for the triple bolt strategy, but scouted the wrong player. And Teal's scout wasn't close enough to Yellow's to do it early enough to make it as cost effective as they would have liked, so they decided to pull back. Oh, I like this. You can see the chat of the players, and I don't know if MpT's not using a voice chat or whatnot, but we're getting some in-game chat from them that we can see, so it's kind of cool to see what they're thinking strategy-wise and stuff. So getting that extra insight into the bolt thing. I had my theory when I saw purple turning around and teal not going for the scout, but then having the chat of them confirming it, it was pretty cool. Also saw the All Athena comment come out, so we'll be seeing a lot of restorations on water. What I'm really curious about in this matchup is how the Uranus player is going to pull out, or play out rather. Obviously with all the Zeus, you're looking at mirror matchups, but then the Uranus is definitely the outlier, and potentially the weak link. And if the game gets into late game, like we saw last game with the PK series, the Uranus player struggled mightily against Mista Zeus, just because Elanian is typically so much weaker as the game moves on. Their units just aren't as strong, and then they severely lack a strong siege weapon that can actually push or kill buildings. They got the fire siphons, but those drastically lack the range to be effective. They can only fire relatively close, and if they're firing close, the Greek melee can just pound them down relatively easily. So if you get lots of fortresses and barracks and towers up, the Atlantean player can't really do anything to push, whereas the Greek siege is a lot. They have range siege and then they have stronger close range siege as well, so how red fares on the right side is what I'll be keeping an eye out, and then how he plays in general. Why is TSM going with the Uranus in this lineup? I think Atlantis is a Uranus player to begin with, so that might be the reason, but we'll see if the Uranus adds anything to this lineup as opposed to having the third Zeus, or if the Uranus is just going to be the weak link come late game. One thing Atlanteans do a bit better is the early Titan, so maybe we'll see an earlier Titan from the Uranus player, potentially, because that's really the late game for Atlantean, is the fast Titan. So, Teal with the fastest classical time it seems, but again, I like MpT casting him. They give insights that through chat, so you saw Count say that he's going to be helping Chef out on the right side here, so looks like it just worked out. Both sides, or both middle players, go to the right side here. So we'll have a double restoration versus a shockwave restoration in terms of the god powers they can use to shift the battles in their favor. Purple getting the better of red damage-wise a bit. Blue is getting the better of green as well, so see how it plays out. As a Greek, you've got your advantage for classical ships is the 16 range versus the 12. So, if at all possible, Swedish Chef wants to fight at range against the Atlantean player. He doesn't want the ships on top of each other, as that'll favor the Ranos player. But if he can keep it at a distance, he can use his micro and the increased range to get extra damage in. So there we go, an early restoration used. Not the best restoration, but not terrible either. Again, I like the fact that he uses it with his teammate as well, so rather than just helping his ships, he heals his teammates as well, and both of them were relatively low. Red's got a lot of low HP ships that, if Chef can micro them down, he'll dwindle Red's ship count pretty quickly. Good micro there on the pullback as well. Really nice micro from Chef. He still keeps this ship alive. 2 HP. It's gonna go down, but Atlantis lost a lot of attack time chasing purple ships and is continuing. Red getting cornered here a bit, so MpT winning the right side here pretty handily. They still got another restoration as well, but so does blue. Still haven't seen a shockwave come out from red. I'm a bit surprised at that. The second restoration coming out for MpT. Again, nicely done, healing both sets of ships. And now both teal and yellow coming across to help. Teal with the faster reaction time gets one ship for free. Not the biggest pick off or miss micro in the world, but I was looking to see who realized that first and reacted. Now we could see some really big restorations. We still got Teal's restoration to go, so I think we'll be seeing a restoration from somebody here any second now. And it's yellow. And then we got the counter restoration from Teal with the shockwave coming down. I think the numbers game still favors MpT, as Red's definitely furthest behind, in that he's only got, I think, 5 or 6 arrow ships out at the moment. TSM did have a second restoration bank still, so that's going to allow them to push back a bit. So no more god powers, no shockwave, no restoration for a while, just ship micro. So with the battles so intense, not even, okay. Actually, we do see second town centers coming out from TSM. So I think that's sort of an acknowledgement on their end that they're going to give up water. Or they realize they're losing water. Red's kind of been fighting from behind the entire time, so usually when you realize you aren't going to win water or behind and need to give it up eventually, the way to do it is by taking early second town centers on land. Problem is, MpT is doing the exact same thing, so TSM was hoping to get an advantage on land by getting the early town centers. It's not going to work out. We actually see a pushback from TSM on water, but I think that's because Bert was just out of position. I think as Teal comes in, it should shift the battle back in MpT's favor. Still full production going from all the TSM players. They haven't conceded water yet. I like this wall off by yellow. It's not that costly to build a wall like that, and it'll seal off and protect them a bit. Still got to give the upper hand to MpT on water. They've been fighting on TSM's turf the entire time, and as a result, that knocks Red off his fishing. So, while all three MpT players have been fishing the entire 11 minutes the game's been going on, Red hasn't really been fishing at all as a result of the fighting happening right in his doorstep. So, it's going to put Red behind economically a teeny bit. However, it also looks like Red's the first player to take a third town center. And Red also stopped Purple from getting up his second town center, so very nice play by Red on land at least, making up for his lost water. Alright. The water's overwhelmingly in MpT's favor at this point, so this is where I'd really like to see people acknowledge that they lost water more and cut production. Okay, yellow's cut his production. Blue's still producing. He's producing fishing ships? This is... I don't like seeing this. This is a lack of coordination on TSM. You shouldn't have one player producing arrow ships still on two docks, one player producing nothing, and then a third player producing fishing ships. That makes no sense. One player's acting like they won water, one player's acting like they're still fighting water, and one player's acting like he gave up water, so... They push things across the map. I don't know if... Nope, MpT's still producing, so I guess it was raids from TSM that drew them back? Yeah, I think Yellow sent his large force to try to kill fishing ships and lost most of it. Yellow's still producing. Red's still producing, but Blue hasn't, so... Again, you like to see the coordination in a team game like this where all three players are on the same page. It doesn't make sense for one player to be continually producing arrow ships while the other two aren't. I mean, I guess they're buying... Technically, Red's buying time for Yellow and Blue's fishing. They're still fishing, both of them, with the fishing ship upgrade as well. For both players, so... Red has the resources to burn. I guess he's buying his team sometime, but now Blue's producing again. I don't know if this is just to harass the opponent's fishing, and again, if you're harassing your opponent's fishing like Yellow is here, they're gonna have their ships busy defending, and that's gonna buy you time to continue fishing yourself, so they can make it worth it in that sense. Red pushing purple and green back 2 versus 1 here. I know it's just the Greek heroes and purple's got some hops, but nonetheless, red pushing them back. Red's got to be careful not to overextend here, as he is fighting 2 versus 1. Blue, on the other hand, a little puzzled. I don't see a heroic coming from blue, nor do I really see a land presence from blue either. And I swear if he goes like heroic and then uses his underworld to get over to red space instead of just sending a few villagers now to forward build, I'm gonna freak out if I see that again. Not a huge fan of what Teal's doing here. He's got still a huge sea armory and he's killing the docks. I'd much rather him see him go over to blue and red and make sure they're not fishing. Hell, even Teal's fishing. Teal still has what, a good 8 fishing ships out? Or wait, that's I'm complaining about Teal who's got all the ships fishing. Whoops. Sorry, I thought that was yellow. I mixed up my colors, but yeah. Looks like Teal's completely stopped yellow from fishing, but I'd like to see Teal stop blue and red as well, with such an overwhelming sea presence. Looks like purple and green basically conceded water at this point. They're much more concerned about land, doubling red. So you see the forward build coming out from blue now. Good position behind the town center, so it should be safe, but a bit late I feel. Red's doing a great job holding 2 versus 1, but I'm guessing that's Red who keeps pinging about the 2 versus 1 situation. Blue also building on his other teammate side, so I like that as well. If you're the middle player, offering support to both your teammates is always good. Not sure if I like Red, yeah, pull back. You just can't trade effectively 2 versus 1, especially Atlantean versus Greek. I think he wants to hold ground to try to get that palace up, and even if he does get the palace up, Blue's still ages away from getting him support, so I think the palace is just gonna drop. Yellow going with the archer heavy army, which is interesting. Again, TL with all these ships sitting around, meanwhile Blue's just fishing his heart out still, same with Red. Blue also with good counter raids, taking out all of Green's fishing. Green doesn't have a single fishing ship left. Purple's pretty much lost all of his fishing too. Hell, even Teal, yellow with the counter raids, wiped out Teal's fishing. Purple is gonna get the town center up, but it's his 3rd town center, so it's not game breaking. Blue continuing to get his production going. Ultimately, it almost looks like TSM won water, and that they've been fishing the entire time. And Teal still has a decent sea presence though. What I'm concerned or most interested in seeing going forward is what happens in the right here on land. Can blue and red stabilize against the pressure from purple and green, which it looks like they did. I was a little worried they'd lose that tree for a second, which then would have made it even harder to hold. Fortress wall coming up here. Not a huge fan of the position just because it's in water range. So if they get siege ships later on to raid a town center, they could also take out that fortress. In terms of town centers being within water range, I think yellow's 3rd is in water range, but I think that's it. Okay. Yellow's 2nd is as well, so I don't think any of blue's town centers are in water range, and the same goes for red. happening here. This barracks is creating a very nice choke point for blue and red. So a couple players are mythic with Hephaestus at the moment, so we'll see Colossi and armory upgrades coming out. So yellow and blue, both TSM players are mythic, as well as teal for MpT. Alright, so we see the early Titan from blue. Wasting no time getting it down and also towering up. We do have several underworld, 5 underworld passages for that matter, in play, so I think the biggest problem is, in order to take a Titan gate out that early in the game, you need, or with that many towers, you need siege, but at only 20 minutes in, 20 minutes in being they spent a lot of time fighting water as well, none of the MpT players have siege ready. They're all still classical army-ish, basically. So, classical army underworlding into 5 or 6 towers plus a town center isn't gonna. It's just gonna be suicide. So, MpT in a bit of trouble here, actually. Red with the Arcus spam. The Arcus have the 20 range, whereas Tox only have the 15 range. So, Arcus are actually going to trade extremely cost effectively against Tox, especially if blue throws some Colossi in the way to tank the damage. These Dryads can also tank up damage as well and allow the Arcus to use their range advantage. So we see the Pegasus coming in from teal, but thing just gets shot down. Extremely nice play from player here. First with the tower defense, realizing there was going to be underworld to play, and then now with the storehouse spam. What's this going to do is, if underworld does come down, creating the storehouses, it's going to cause pathing issues for the attacking player and make it difficult for them to get their siege in range of the Titan. So I don't know if he's thinking that an underworld might come, because the truth is, nobody's even in position to underworld into that many towers. Either green or purple has siege, and the same applies to teal. So, this Titan's gonna get up. And the second Titan coming into play. At this point, I'm worried for MpT. This map is extremely choke point oriented on the sides, so you'll often see steelmates like this, but when you get a Titan in play, the Titan can just take down the town center and clear out the side. So once blue comes out here with his Titan, he's going to be able to take down purple's forward town center and put purple behind population wise. I don't think this town center is in water range, so we see the siege ships coming out from yellow with the upgrade, but I think MpT lucked out severely in that I don't think they have any town centers within water range. This town center might be for teal, I'm not 100% certain, but MpT dodged a bullet there in terms of the town centers and water range. TSM on the other hand, Fen could end up dead if the siege ships came, because he'd lose both his town centers, and very nice here. But these siege towers aren't gonna be able to stop the ships, because the ships will always outrange the towers, but if your opponent blindly sends in your siege ships to attack the town center, the towers are gonna pick them off and save your town center, and even just buy you time is the biggest thing. The towers will buy your time before you lose the town center and lose the population, and then you can use that time to get hammer ships out to defend. So the vortex being used by red on green's back town center, but with a mostly archer heavy army, he's not going to be able to kill the Titan gate, but I think the big thing is you want to just slow it down and pick off as many villagers as possible. Green uses his underworld to counter that, but I'd like to see blue focus the underworld quickly and then the town center. Again, red wasn't planning on killing the Titan, he wanted to slow it down more than anything. I really would have liked to see blue focus the underworld first. The reason being, green has 2 colossi and a ton of units protecting his Titan gate back here. If blue had killed that he had 3 colossi. If blue had killed that underworld, green would have been stuck all the way back here, leaving purple to fight 2 versus 1. Oh, this is driving me crazy. Kill the underworld with the Titan, please. If blue kills that Titan, red just vortexes back and green can't respond. Now green's gonna run through the underworld because the underworld's still there because the Titan hasn't killed it. All red needed to do was wait for the Titan to kill the underworld and then vortex through, and then there's nothing green could have done to defend. Or it would have been a lot more difficult. Instead, green still has the underworld and just goes back through again. Now the Titan's focusing the underworld. Another big thing down here. So teal and green are going to get out the counter Titans. Purple also has his Titan on the way. Timing matters though, in that I think yellow's Titan got out early enough, or I know yellow's Titan got out early enough where he's going to be able to take down teal's forward town center. So now when the Titan wars do come, yellow's going to be fighting up 20 pop because teal's town center is going to be dead by the time his Titan arrives. Same thing up here. Blue and red are fighting up 20 population over purple. Okay, I completely missed red's Titan. So now you've got 2 Titans down to this top side, or left side rather. So even as teal responds with his Titan, he's not going to be able to kill yellow's Titan and take back this town center because he's got a 2 versus 1 Titan fight set up. Meanwhile, blue's staking claim to an extra town center here, which would be huge. Red tower spamming it up as well. Green finally completes his Titan, but he lost quite a few villagers. The Wonder's also been being built. I think I looked at it briefly, but TSM is going to win that Wonder War easily. Teal about to lose a lot of villagers here. That's like 20 or 30 villagers. He's got a good trade economy going, at least at this point in the game, but not a huge fishing presence, so losing that many villagers to Titans like that can hurt your economy. Teal knows he can't engage with his Titan. So green's Titan is being sent to the left here to even out the Titan wars. Meanwhile, purple's Titan coming out here. We also see a bolt used. That was the last bolt in the game, but that should give purple the Titan win here. curious as to where Purple's army is. I don't know if he just fell behind economically while he was building his Titan, but I don't see a lot of units for Purple. The other thing with Titan fights, you've got to be extremely careful micro-wise. You don't want to like not pay attention for your second and see your opponents targeting down your Titan. If they get in range, you need the Titans to be trading. Yellow with a bit of miss micro there, loses a hit or two. Now Yellow's fighting 2 versus 1. This is just what MpT needed on the top here, or left side here. Again, miss micro from Yellow, and green a bit. Ugh. Looks like Red's ultimately gonna win. Although miss micro from Red here, not attacking Green's Titan, is gonna pretty much allow this to cancel out. Teal also gets the 3rd town center back up, which is gonna be huge for him. Still 700 HP on that Titan though, which is enough to take that town center again, and then once that town center is down, Teal's gonna have a harder time staying in it, so it's not all over. It's not over yet for Teal. Okay, the hero comes out. The hero really needs to focus that Titan down. A lot of siege backup though. Town center is gonna drop, which it's going to be extremely hard for Teal to retake that, and then fighting down a town center is also going to suck. It's not looking good for MpT. Their Wonder's several minutes behind, but that doesn't really matter because they got to kill Blue's Wonder first. The problem here is the longer MpT waits, they've got the underworld passages still. Got 2 underworlds for each side still. But the longer you wait to underworld onto the Wonder, the more time Blue's gonna have to fortify it with towers, walls, buildings. Basically, if you underworlded right now, you could underworld right on top of the Wonder and basically kill it with enough siege or colossi. This Wonder as it stands right now is vulnerable to Underworld. The problem is, you need to get the army that can take it out. You need to mass the siege towers. And with the intense fighting on both sides of the map and MpT being down a town center on both sides, so 2 town centers total, it's going to make it a lot more difficult for them to play passive for a minute or so to get up the units needed to underworld in and take out that Wonder. So they're kind of in between a rock and a hard place, and that they need to push back and try to get the town centers evened up to get in. But the longer they take to do that, the more fortified this position for Blue around his Wonder is going to be. Teal doing a decent job, I think, in part because of the help from Green here. Purple, meanwhile, is fighting mostly 2 versus 1 to the top here, but he's still been pushing it back because he's spamming the siege towers, whereas Red's got a heavy archer-heavy army, so they're not able to effectively take down the siege towers. Extremely nice play and creative play here from Chef, creating a tower wall right in the trade path. So he's not trying to kill anything with this build. What he's trying to do is harass the trade of his opponents is the big thing. If you can get the towers up, you can then get a potential further build, and if you can get access to the back town centers of Red and take them out, it's going to give you a nice population thing. MpT doing decent here. Again, red with such an archer-heavy army is going to struggle against the siege spam, so that's what the problem for TSM is at the moment. Teal also gets his town center back up. I don't know what Blue's economy situation is, but it doesn't seem like he's making that much military anymore. I think with the villagers walking around, just building, spamming, and the fact that he's now hunting these boars, I don't think Blue has the greatest economy going for him. This town center with all the farms is barren. So Blue stops making a lot of units, and just focuses on fortifying this position. It's gonna affect his teammates holding the sides, but Teal's got the Colossi and Siege Towers to make an Underworld work. This purple got like a... Okay, that's a Pegasus swarm for TSM, but is TSM gonna try to hit Green's Wonder? Green's Wonder is completely unprotected. So, there's the Underworld from Yellow. What did he send through? Okay. Yep, 5 Colossi, that's gonna do it. Unprotected, no heroes in sight. MpT's Wonder is gonna go down, but I don't think that's the hugest deal in the game if they can take out TSM's Wonder, obviously, with 3 minutes and counting. Again, TSM got the worst of the town centers being within water range. And additionally, they've got an Atlantean player, so they're still up a town center, and they've got the Wonder with 2 minutes left now, but not sure why Green's building a tower here. Okay, there we go. The Wonder off from Teal. Teal with 5 Colossi, a Siege Tower, some units. Attacking a relatively weak spot. All we've got is a military academy and a 1-layer wall protecting the Wonder here. Blue scrambling to build towers, but this should be enough. This should take down the Wonder. This is a big enough army. The wall goes down. Just get the Colossi beating on the Wonder. A bit of mismicro running around like that, but this Wonder should go down. So now you turn to the sides and see if there's any progress there. Looks like Yellow's controlling water, which is good because he's the player with 2 town centers within water range, so TSM wisely controlling water, but at the same time you're at a disadvantage because that's population. Bit of mismicro there, losing a Colossi. The other problem with all the villagers, the MpT waited too long to get their units in position, so Green's Colossi are just beating away at other units. As more and more units get in here too, it's going to make it extremely difficult to get units in position to actually beat on the Wonder. Okay, purple with the even closer Underworld. They just need to get the Siege Towers in. Catapults aren't as effective. Get the Siege Towers, it's going down! These Siege Towers are the money makers. Now things get interesting. Do we see one side or another go for a second Wonder? We could have a second Wonder race. Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. I think Count's probably asking for wood to get another Wonder out. I'd also like to see Chef take the drawback of red to take this town center. Where are Chef's fills? Take the town center while you have the time. Red brought his entire army back to deal with the Wonder. Did that get killed or cancelled? I missed it, but we had another Wonder attempt go down from Blue. So here we go again. So blue going for a second wonder, whereas you can see the call from green that they want to push the sides. I think MpT knows they've got TSM on the back foot, so they want to push land. They don't have the power of 2 underworld passages to deal with this wonder. Player blue has the only underworld remaining in the game, so when it comes time to take out blue's wonder again, it looks like blue's the only player going for a wonder, so TSM is going to win the wonder race again. Alright, green going for a wonder now again, but I actually dislike green going for that wonder. I'd rather he spend the resources on villagers to just keep pushing the sides further. Red's extremely weak. Blue's been just building wonders and towers and stuff, so blue's doesn't have much of an economy going either. Green's not going to win this wonder race. Blue's so much further ahead. And then on top of that, blue still had an underworld still, which I was about to bring up, but blue beat me to it. So blue still had an underworld in play, so he was just going to kill green's wonder no matter what. Yellow taking or teal taking down yellow's forward town center here. Red also losing his town center up to the top here. Purple reclaimed his finally. Like to see a Colossi coming out, yeah. See, Count's economy is in shatters partly because he went for the wonder again. Like to see get some units harassing Red's villagers. The other problem with Atlantean is as it gets to late game, their economies start to crumble. Add in the fact that Purple did a great job here disrupting the trade. If the TSM players' economies go to shit and they start losing the side town centers, they can build as many buildings as they want around this wonder. It'll eventually fall to Colossi and Siege, so. Surprised, I don't think this town center has been taken out once by Siege despite being in water range. I also hope Teal has the upgrade, or is this really 6 population worth of Pegasus sitting here on water? Okay, Red's getting completely cleared out to the top here. And now they're moving in on Red's town center, so against so much siege, I guess Red's economy's just shot. He's retreating to the wonder, but as Red retreats his villagers, he's just going to lose both his town centers, and they're going to be claimed by Purple, who's just going to be able to spam more and more siege. Yellow's at least delaying for now, but love to see TSM take out that town center with siege. Honest assessment is there's no way TSM's gonna hold for 8 minutes with Red just getting rolled over with this. If you want to build a wonder like that, you need to buy time and hold your sides. But when the original wonder died, TSM got hooked into sending all their armies down there, which allowed Purple to push through and regain all those town centers. Blue's Underworld's still up, but doesn't look like he did any significant damage back there. Tree might have helped, like, deny the, what do you call it, the Underworld, but trees only have so much range, and it's not like Underworld needs to be targeted directly on top of the wonder. There's plenty of space around it where you can just manipulate around the trees. Glad Teal finally killed the 6 population of Pegasus. That was a bit of a waste. So purple's now up to 6 town centers as red's completely folded, and with this much siege, it's only a matter of time before he gets in wonder range. He's even got units supporting it, which is wise. Blue's got like nothing. Red's like completely tapped out of this game. Red has literally a few Arcus and some towers and ships, but that's it. Yellow's doing a good job. Yellow held up teal so far. Hasn't even let him get the 4th town center up yet, but it's about to go up. But that's what yellow needed to do in order to make the wonder work. You gotta slow their advancement. Each additional town center they get shifts the population advantage further in their favor and allows them to push that much faster. So in a wonder race like this, the longer you can hold the sides, the better off you are. TSM taps out to the strong push from purple up top here. That was just game 1. Somebody mentioned MpT's home map is Mediterranean as well, so I wonder if we'll get a repeat of this.